Hi, have we started? Okay, all right. So this week we are going to talk about the easy way to be able to talk with anybody, anywhere, about anything. And this is seriously important stuff, because you get people asking all this other stuff. They go, oh, how do I get my ex back? And hey, if only I had an ex. And how can I get a job interview? And how can I make friends? And how can I do this? And all the time, it all boils down to being able to communicate, being able to talk to people. And if you can't talk to people, how are you going to ask somebody on a date? How are you going to be able to just make your wishes known, get what you want in the world? We need to be able to open our mouths and tell people what we want, and and learn what they want and all this kind of stuff. Okay, so even though this thing isn't taught in schools and isn't likely to be on the curriculum anytime soon, fret not, because I'm going to share with you how to do it. Now, let's think of the perfect scenario, or the imperfect scenario, if you like. You find yourself parachuted into a room full of people. You don't know anybody there. And all the people there are they're astrophysicists or orthodontic dentists, or they're all on a conference about data management or something like that. And of course, you don't know a damn thing about any. You spotted Orion once. That's the way. That's it. That's the end of it. Something like that. Where do you start? What do you do? How are you going to cope with these people? Well, hey, actually, it's not difficult at all. All you got to do is know a couple of extremely simple things, and you've got it down. Now, first of all, by the way, the reason why people find this difficult is because when you're a kid, you're growing up, and you see people and they're holding conversations and so on. Now, most of the time, those conversations are being held by people who don't really know how to hold a conversation. They tend to do all kinds of other things instead, and you see their lips moving and you hear a lot of words being said, but like the principles about what's really going on and what these people are thinking and what they're hearing and so on, you don't know those things. So it's very difficult for you to be able to find out what's going on. Okay, well, I'm talking more about the problem again, aren't I, really? Whereas I ought to be really talking about the solution. So let's keep this thing moving forward. Now, there are lots of things. Let me differentiate first of all. Yeah, there are lots of frills of conversation that you can use, but they're not the nitty-gritty of conversation. Like telling jokes, that's a frill that you can add on to a conversation. It's not the nitty-gritty of conversation. Anecdotes. People, oh yeah, there was the time when Bill and we went out and we did this, and you'll never believe what happened, and we all laughed because that's a frill. That's something you can add on to a conversation. It's not the nitty-gritty of the conversation. And there's a social grooming thing. How are you? I'm fine. And how's your boy? And is he well? And how's she? And we're fine. Everyone's good. Yeah, they're frills again. Frills of the conversation. It's not the nitty-gritty of the conversation. All these things, nothing wrong with them. Nothing wrong with them. They're all handy. You can just throw them in where you like, but they're not the nitty-gritty. You know how a lot of people, they never learn the nitty-gritty. All they do is use the frills. You've met people like that. Their sole conversation is like the weather. How's your boy been? How's your daughter? I've been well. You've been well. Yeah, we're all well. Everybody's well. You get the people, their only conversation is, when me and Bill went to, those people. You've heard that. You've seen that. The trouble is, as I said, those things are fine. They're fine as frills. They're fine as extras. Optional extras, like white wall tires and, go fast stickers, but they're not the engine. They're not the engine and wheels of conversation. I'm going to tell you what the engines are. The first and most important engine is asking questions. Could be, yeah, you think, oh, what do I say? What do I say? I can't think of a thing to say. Don't worry about what to say. Think about what to ask. Okay? And getting back to the story, I set this scenario, didn't I? About the data, let's say the data management guys. Let's make it a tough one, yeah? Let's make it really tough. Okay, a room full of data management guys. How the heck are you going to cope with this? Right. First of all, you enter the room. Now, I'll give you a free gift, first of all, an optional extra. This is just a frill. This isn't the main event at all, but I'm just going to throw it in, just for free. Now, it's all free, but I'm going to throw this in for free. This is a little trick. Stand at the side of the room and smile. And look around the room like this. This is called a blanket flirt. Look around and see if you catch somebody else's eye. And if you do, you smile at them. And then they look at you, you smile. If you get a smile back, you walk straight over and say, hi, I'm Tim. Like that. Now, that's an optional extra. Doesn't always work. You can do that thing across the room and you find everyone's deep in conversation, or they're hunting out the cocktail sausages or something like that, so they don't see you. Okay, don't worry. That was just a freebie. Although it doesn't matter, we're still going to go for the main event now. You walk around. I think if somebody looks like they're in a stinging foul mood, then don't bother with them, right? Look for the people who look a little bit more relaxed and a little bit more fun. And you can just walk over to these people and ask a question. And what's the most obvious question to ask? Are you guys all in data management? Yeah. Okay. And they say, oh yeah, we're all in data management here. All of. Oh, okay, yeah. And then now, the art here is that you ask questions, and then when people reply, listen. Listen to what they give you back. And then from what they give you back, then automatically, by the way, you know the next question to ask. You don't have to think of it, because if you've just listened to them and you've heard them, then you know it. And that's worth expanding on a little bit, because people sometimes try. They try. Oh, try to think. What can I say now? I've got to find the right question. No. You have a conscious mind. You have an unconscious mind. The conscious mind's about yay big. The unconscious mind's about as big as your street. It's enormous, right? And your unconscious mind is all the time working away on your behalf, down there, down below. That idea of a duck swimming, the duck's kind of like this, and the little feet are working away down there like crazy. That's your unconscious mind. It's doing all the processing, all the working out, stopping you bumping into walls at the same time, by the way, and solving all kinds of problems for you. And this is the trick. I'm going to do a whole thing on listening, by the way, later on, the art of listening, but we'll just touch on it right here. But when I say listen, you just simply there's no earplugs in there. Good. If you just allow the sound to go into your ears, you will hear. Notice you're doing nothing else. You're not thinking about it. You're not working on it. You're not concentrating on it. You're not rehearsing anything inside your own head. You're not repeating what you've just heard inside your head after you've heard it so that you don't forget it. You're not doing any of those things. You're just allowing the sound to go in there. If that's all you do, then you hear them. And if you hear them, then you know what to say next. you've asked that question, are you guys all in data management or something like that? And somebody goes, yeah, we're all in data management. And then you say, oh wow, you must be having are you having a hard time with data management? Or they go, yeah, we're all in data management. So wow, is that so you guys must be seriously into data management, yeah? Or they go, oh yeah, I've been in data management quite a while now. Oh, now did you decide that you want? Is that what you really is? You've been in it a while, so I guess, you probably must be quite established now. You've learned quite a bit about it. Or oh, well, I've just started in data management. Oh, it's a new thing for you. You just started to learn about it. What? And maybe ask them more about that, or ask them what they were doing before. It must be a steep learning curve, learning about data management. Whatever they give you, you ask them a question accordingly. And say, which one? Let's pick on any one of those ones. The guy goes, oh, yeah, we're all in data management. And you say, oh my God, is it that terrible being in data management? And this guy goes, oh, when you've done this a few years, let me tell you, oh boy, and you go, well, tell me all about it. Tell me about the horrors. Tell me the horrors of data management. Whatever. You're off to the races here. You've got a whole thing going on. So it's really quite easy because, again, out of that bunch of people that you started talking to, some of them are talkative, some of them are less talkative. The talkative ones are going to keep up with the conversation. The quieter ones, they're just going to listen. Or maybe they're going to lose interest and talk to somebody else, or they're going to wander off. Doesn't matter. And you can be just chatting away with these people. And you can say, well, and don't think, oh yeah, you think, oh God, how can I talk to these people when I don't know anything about it? Great, you can say, you know something, I don't know a thing about data management. So that's very important. Knowing nothing is not a sin. It's all right. Now, I did say to you, there's a couple of skills to this. And these skills are, well, let's recap the first skill. And then you'll see what the second skill is. To recap the first skill, you ask a question, you listen to the response, which gives you your next question. And really, if you were just asking questions, encouraging them to talk and listening to what they have to say, hey, you can learn everything you ever needed to learn for a start. But also, you've got to get a great conversation going on. Now, let's make it a little more two-way. They might ask you a question. Now, what do? You answer that question. And here's the thing. Help them. You can help them by giving them just a little bit. Don't give them your life story. You don't have to, or if you want, unless you want to. Give them a little bit of extra. So somebody says, well, do you live around here? They answer, and you say, yeah. Now, yeah is okay. But maybe just give them an extra little, throw them a bone, give them an extra bit. So, yeah, I live in the new houses out by so-and-so. Or, yeah, I've lived here all my life. Or, yeah, I just moved in. Or, yeah, I'm just renting at the moment, but I'm looking for a place to buy. Or, yeah, I just got my new house. Or, I've got a house warming on Friday. Do you want to come? Give them an extra piece of information, because if you give them an extra piece of information, then that makes it easier for them to ask you another interested question. So can you see how it really facilitates the conversation? Now, when you can have conversations like that with somebody, what happens? It's easy. It's easy. It's easy for you. It's easy for them. Now, let me ask you a question. If you can just get into conversation with people and just, to chat away, about stuff and have an easy time, do you think it's going to be easy to maybe move on to something like asking someone for a date, or maybe, striking up a friendship, or maybe, something else sort of coming out of it? Yeah, all those things all those things straight away become possibilities. I'm not saying that they're definitely going to happen, but they're possibilities. If you're kind of like, can't say boo to a goose, you're not even going to get on the starting block, really. Yeah. So that's how crucial and important this whole thing is. So there's a whole load of other stuff I'm going to talk about in future videos, like how to progress it on to asking for a date, how to move into other areas, how to ask other questions, how to bring in, I talked earlier on, I talked about how, I talked about the frills of conversation and the distinguishing between the actual nitty gritty of conversation, how to do it, and the frills. Well, I'll touch on some other stuff later on, like how to, throw in the frills, hey, why don't we just do that now? What did we say? What were those things after all? Anecdotes, jokes, social grooming type. How are you? How are they? I'm great. How are you? Are you great? I'm great. That stuff. You can throw those in. They're optional extras, and they work beautifully as optional extras. They're boring if they're a substitute for the real conversation, but they're nice as frills. It's a bit like the saying, having a cake and having some icing on it, but if it's all icing and no cake, sorry. A cake by itself is great, by the way. That's really important. And if you've got a little bit of icing on the cake as well, hey, that's even nicer. So that's what happens when you've got a true nitty-gritty conversation going on and you've got these little frills being thrown in as well. Okay, so at this point, I've got another free gift for you. Yeah, so we've, because I'm going to, in a future video, we're going to talk about all this stuff about how to turn into asking for dates and, finding love and all that kind of stuff. Next, I'm going to rock your world. And while you're listening, please, what is it? Yeah, like, subscribe, comment, hit the notification button, cue the music. I'm in a state of complication. Some kind of lost communication. If there was any other way, believe me when I tell you, it's rocky on the road to love. It gets so rocky on the road to love. Rocky on the road to love. Rocky on the road to love. How could there be a new beginning? To get this loser into winning. Go with me, ooh baby, just remember, it gets rocky on the road to love. It gets so rocky on the road to love. Rocky on the road to love. It gets rocky on the road to love. It gets so rocky on the road to love. Rocky on the road to love. It gets rocky on the road to love. Sometimes I feel I've had enough. I gotta get back on my feet. This broken heart just won't be beat. I just gotta find a way. It gets rocky on the road to love. It gets rocky on the road to love. It gets rocky on the road to love.
Rocky on the road to love. Yes, Rocky on the road to love. Yes, Rocky on